network these days is not so reliable, so we can't have our videos on. Okay, so allow me share my screen and we start. For people who are attending for the very first time, Nondo does not have a microphone on. Please, let me first handle this one. Please connect your audio. Okay. So Nondo and Aldra, they don't have microphones on, so they cannot hear us. Please, when you join, you need to learn how to connect the microphone. And they cannot. Hey, Bernard. May I have some rights here? Bernard, help us turn off the videos of these two people. They are causing a lot of problems. Okay, I need to first get back to what we discussed last time, and then we get to something new today. Last week we discussed, I don't know that it was last week or this very week, we were discussing resources in East Africa. In this topic, in this lesson, there were two lessons in here, and let me just share my screen. We had two lessons. One was about resources. We discussed the types of resources. We went to renewable resources, to examples of major resources in East Africa, where we discussed about land. We focused about land. We defined what land is and why it is an important resource. Ways in which land can be degraded. We also went to animals. We discussed the two types of animals. We discussed the domestic and wild animals. Went to importance of domestic animals, forms of animal keeping in East Africa, where we discussed dairy farming and ranching and nomadic pastoralism. So the following lesson, we discussed the lesson that followed thereafter. We discussed dairy farming, what is dairy farming, areas in East Africa where dairy farming is carried out. We discussed methods and products from the dairy farm. We discussed factors that favor dairy farming in Kenyan highlands. We discussed ranching, what is a ranch, what is ranching in general, for products from a ranch. We discussed nomadic pastoralism. That's what we ended with. What is pastoralism? What is nomadic pastoralism? Who are the nomads? Why do nomadic tribes keep large herds? We discussed nomadic tribes in East Africa. We discussed problems facing nomadic herds and how can nomads be helped to settle or to lead a settled life where you don't have to move from one place to another because you're looking for pasture and water. And lastly, we discussed how cattle raiding can be reduced among nomadic pastoralists. So those are some of the things that we discussed. I don't know whether someone got a question or a concern that we can handle right now from this very meeting before we start something new. If you have a question about nomadic pastoralism, about dairy farming, you raise the hand and I allow you to ask. Marceline Blessing says you want the slides. I will surely send you the slides, but later in the afternoon, because I have a meeting immediately after this lesson. So I will send the slides later in the afternoon. You will have them for this lesson and even for the previous 2 lessons. So just keep in the WhatsApp group, you will have them. So allow me to stop sharing this, and we get to the new lesson, to the new content that I designed for today. So that one means we formally finished the topic or the lesson called, the topic called resources in East Africa. We exhausted it, so you can consider it a done deal. So today we are going to start a new lesson, a new topic. Yes, for those who are joining us for the very first time, my name is Teacher Jonah, and I'm going to put on my video so that you can see me. If you are seeing me for the first time, that is the voice behind your microphone, behind your speaker. Yes, my name is Teacher Jonah. I am a teacher here. I love social studies. I love English language, and those are my areas of expertise. So I hope you'll have an easy time learning with me and with us at yaaka.cc. Allow me to switch off the video because we didn't come to watch videos. So we are going to talk about climate of East Africa. Climate of East Africa. First question, what is climate? Let's get to our group, our chat, and we type the answers. What is climate? How do you define climate? Get to your chat and you type your answers. What is climate? Get to your chat. Chat is found at more. You go at more, where more is, and then you will see chat. That's where chat is. Yes, I am waiting for answers. We need to be very fast here because we have a lot to cover today. So what is climate? What is climate? I am waiting for answers. Chat is at more. What is climate? One answer is here. That is from Marceline Blessing. Very good answer. Marceline Blessing, something small is lacking. Read through your answer again. Jasmine, good answer. Hilary, good answer. Yes. Gabriel Hazel, good answer. Timothy, good answer. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Good answers. Thank you, whoever has contributed. Daniel and Sarah, good answer. Celion, Silas Cheptolis, good answer. Just that you are specific. Ambrose, good answer. Stuart, good answer. And Marceline, you have done very well to correct the errors. Very good. So those are very good responses and I appreciate. Thank you, whoever has contributed. So from all your definitions, from all your definitions, we can agree that there are those words that are common in everyone's definition. At least I can see weather condition, I can see recorded, I can see long period of time. Those are the three major words that we use to measure a definition of climate. If you have those three definitions, those three keywords, then your definition will be right. You must have weather condition, average weather condition. You must have recorded. You must have long period of time. Those are the three measures even used at UNEB to tell whether the definition is right. So how can we define climate? Is the average weather condition of a place recorded for a long period of time. Some people think, or some people say the long period of time should be an average of 30 years, like someone put it in the chat. That is all right. But what you have to keep in the mind, the keywords here that you must have: one, average. This is a keyword, average. Every time you're defining climate, you must have weather condition, very key. You can't have a definition without them. Then you have recorded. It must be recorded, not thought. And then it must have been recorded for a long period of time. These four terms are very, very important if you are to define climate. So those are the key terms that they use to define climate. So every time you are defining climate, make sure you have those terms. Thank you, whoever's given answers. Good class. I appreciate you all. Okay. Maybe to remind you again, we really don't want you to put on your videos because of the poor network we are experiencing countrywide these days. Okay. After climate, what is climatology? 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 I'm waiting. Adrian, Daniel, and Sarah, give your answers. Francis Aldera, Franklin, Gabriel Hazel, we are waiting for your answers. Emma and Ambrose, Jasmine, Lynn, Joshua Mokisa, Rashida, Jazila, your answers. Nondo, yes, Shantai, your answers. Sydney, we are waiting, your answers. Remember, this is climate of East Africa, study of climate, good answer. Climatology or climate science is the scientific study of climate, scientifically defined as the weather conditions averaged over a period of time. Good scientific answer. I love that scientific answer. Climatology. So we can agree that climatology is the study of climatic conditions. If you take time to study the climatic condition, that process is called climatology. Thank you, Edmond. Thank you, Redemptor. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Stuart. Good answers. You have the clue. You have the clue. So the study of climatic conditions is called climatology. Very good answer, Daniel and Sarah. Very good answer, Nondo Nisi. Very good answer, Adrian. Wow, Hilary, very good answers. Thank you so much. So we agree that climatology is the study of climatic conditions. What about who is a climatologist? Definitely is a person who studies climatic conditions. A person who studies climatology is called a climatologist. A climatologist. A climatologist studies climatology. Climatology is the study of climatic conditions. So then we have the meteorologist. Meteorology is the study of weather conditions. That one you have studied throughout primary 4, primary 5, and all that. Then we have, if we have meteorology, then we have a person who studies that as a meteorologist. Who is a meteorologist? Is a person who studies weather conditions. So those are the key terms that we need to be aware of when it comes to studying climate, most especially in East Africa, climate in East Africa. Wow. So let's get to the climatic regions of East Africa. Do you know any climatic region in East Africa? If yes, put it in the chat. Climatic regions in East Africa is what we are discussing. Climatic regions in East Africa. Climatic regions in East Africa. Climatic regions in East Africa. In East Africa, not in Uganda. Uganda is P5. In P6, we study about East Africa. Yes, Daniel and Sarah, Jasmine, thank you so much. I am waiting for others who are typing answers. Shantai, unless you cannot hear me, but we want you to put the answers in the chat. Shantai, if it is an answer, put it in the chat. If it's a general question, then you can ask. Shantai?
Yes, teacher.
Is it a general question or you wanted to give an answer? If you wanted to give an answer, please put it in the chat. Okay. Very good answers. Mountain, this is Marceline, Keith, Gabriela, Adrian, Stuart. Good answers. Thank you so much. Bernard, we have a very big number of people whose microphones are not connected. Would you help us and communicate to them? Thank you, Bernard. Semi-desert from Ambrose. Thank you so much. Albert. Thank you. Thank you, whoever has given answers. Good, good, good. So we can summarize the climatic regions of East Africa in the following. We have the equatorial climatic region. The equatorial climatic region. Equatorial climatic region. We have the mountain or montane climatic region. We have the semi-desert. Some people call it the semi-arid climatic region. We have the tropical climatic region. We have the coastal climatic region. Those are the key climatic regions that we have in East Africa. There are some climatic regions that are there, but not in East Africa. Like the Mediterranean, you will study about it in P7. It is in Africa, but not in East Africa. So these 5 are the ones that we have in East Africa. In East Africa. Let me just copy this for people who are seeing. They can see, but they cannot. And Bernard, I hope you have sent it to everyone who is not connected. I can see the number is big. About 4 or 5 people can see, but they cannot hear. Okay.
Maybe you can first stop sharing and share so that they can see.
Maybe I put it here. Should I?
That's okay. Yes.
I can just get another slide. I paste it here like this. For those who are not seeing, who can see but cannot hear. For a few seconds. So those of us without audio, connect it by tapping on Wi-Fi or cellular data, bottom left of your Zoom meeting. And for those using the computer, let's join with computer audio. I believe they can get. Okay, so I think we can stop this. Okay, so we are going to talk about these climatic conditions, these climatic regions one by one. We are going to start with the equatorial climatic region. What do you know about the equatorial climatic region? Equatorial climatic region. What do you know about the equatorial climatic region? I am waiting for the answers. Shantai, worry not. I am going to share this with you. Even the work for the previous week, I will share it with you, don't mind. Yes, it's the part of the equator. Very good, Daniel. We are in the chat typing in the information that we have about the equatorial climatic regions of East Africa. What do you know about the equatorial climatic regions of East Africa? Yes. Nabu Kenya, Rashida, turn off your video and we continue. Just give me the answers. Jasmine, I've never heard of Ipweta, but I guess you were writing equator. The P is supposed to be Q. Hope you can work out on that. It's dry and wet. We shall see, Ambrose. We shall see whether what you are saying is true. I think it has worked. Thank you, whoever is giving the answers. Princess Karen, you are welcome. Thank you for connecting your audio. You found us in the middle of the lesson. I believe you've been following, go without the audio. Largest, dry and hot throughout the year. It's hot and wet. So thank you. So we can stop there and we get to what the teacher prepared. Thank you for your ideas. They are all beautiful ideas. Hot and wet. Very good ideas. One, it is hot and wet throughout the year. That means the temperatures are high and it is always raining in this climatic region. In this climatic region, the temperatures are very high and it is always raining. In Uganda, we don't have an area, a region that is typically equatorial. We shall find out why. Because Uganda is generally on the higher altitude. On a higher altitude. Though we qualify to be in the equatorial climatic region because of the equator, but we don't have an area which is typically equatorial. So it has two maximum rainy seasons in a year. They are called the double maxima. Double maxima. So when you see double maxima, don't get surprised. Those are two maximum rainy seasons in a year. Double maxima. So double maxima, number two, it receives heavy rainfall all the year between 1,750 millimeters to 2,250 millimeters. So that rainfall is too much. Then there is high temperatures above 25 degrees. Just check out here in Uganda, it is always hot. Sometimes it gets to 28, 29 degrees. If you are a person who loves weather, you can find sometimes it is 27, even on a normal day, it is 27, 28, if you love weather forecasting. It is found in the highlands areas of South. This is not supposed to be here. It is convectional rainfall is received in this area. Convectional. You know the types of rainfall: relief and convection and frontal. You know the different types and how they are formed. The climate is experienced in areas, this is what I wanted to show you, is experienced in areas that lie 5 degrees north and 5 degrees south of the equator. Sometimes it can stretch to 10 degrees north and 10 degrees south of the equator. So without the equator, there is no equatorial climate. We have the equator, therefore we ought to experience the equatorial climate. So the areas that experience the equatorial climate are those areas within 5 degrees north, 5 degrees south of the equator. In East Africa, it is found near Lake Victoria. Very well, typical equatorial climate, near Lake Victoria. Very good climate. They experience the exact description, how we have pictured it here for you. That's how they experience it. Hot and wet, 2 seasons, very good rainy seasons. So that is all we can speak about the equatorial climate. You can see the areas of Mabida, those areas experience equatorial climate, those areas of Mabida, because they are close to Lake Victoria. I don't know if there is anyone with a question about equatorial climate before we get to another climatic region, because we have to. Okay, I don't see questions. If you want to ask a question, don't just, you raise the hand. Okay. So don't mind people who are trying to catch up with time. I'm going to share these slides so you can open them and go through them one by one at your convenience. Don't even get worried. I am going to share all of them, these ones and even the previous one for the previous 2 lessons that we have had. Okay, so that is it about equatorial climate. Let's get to mountain. But before we leave the equatorial climate, which economic activities do you think are carried out in the equatorial climatic region? Which economic activities do you think are carried out in the equatorial climatic region? Which economic activities? I want the economic activities. Type them in the chat. Type them in the chat. Economic activities carried out in the equatorial climatic region. Because those are the questions that will ask you. Which climatic region is described as hot and wet? Those ones we have dealt with already. Okay, I can see farming, fishing. Thank you, thank you. Tourism, you have a very good clue. Very good answers here. Marceline, very good. Wanyama, very good. Smith, good answers. Good answers, good answers. Thank you so much. Rashida, Jazira, Redemptor, Gabriel Hayes or Edmond Stewart, very good answers. Nondo, good answers. Thank you. So that means you have the idea, and I appreciate that. So we can leave that. Let's get to mountain climatic regions, or the mountain climatic regions. Mountain or mountain. So you can call them whichever you want. But what is so important is you to be able to understand what, to describe them. Lynn, you have a question? Please ask. Unmute your microphone and you ask. Lynn? Yes, Lynn. Okay. So the montane climatic region. What do we know about the montane climatic region? Thank you, Mwesigwa. It is commonly found near mountains. Rashida, you have a question? Please ask. Nabukenya Rashida. Okay. It is cool and wet throughout the year. Okay, we shall find out. That is Gabriela Hazel. Okay, so one, it is mainly found around mountain regions. So whenever there is a mountain, you can easily find the montane climatic region. The montane climatic region. So number two, it receives relief rainfall. You know relief rainfall. Relief rainfall is experienced from relief features, places near relief features like mountains. You know how the leeward side behaves and then the windward side, those things that you studied in P4, P5. We are describing montane climate. Then the temperature is influenced by altitude. So that means the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. That one we have discussed, and we even know why it is so. Why is it that the higher you go, the cooler it becomes? We even know that because the moon is nearer. So when you are going higher, you are actually getting closer to the moon, and that defines why it becomes cooler. So those are the few things we can tell about the montane climatic region. It receives relief rainfall. It is mainly found near or around mountain regions, and the temperatures are influenced by the altitude. That is, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. Now, these are some of the mountains. In East Africa, can we identify some of the mountains that have permanent snow? Their snow is there in and out of season. Remember, we are utilizing the chart to give answers. We are utilizing the chart. Mountains. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Smith. Your punctuation should change. Thank you, Jacob, Hillary. You are giving the same mountain, but no offense, no problem. In East Africa, other mountains in East Africa that are snow-capped throughout the year, that have permanent snow. Thank you, Wanyama. Thank you, Sidin. Is this Sidin? Yes, Sidin, Ambrose, and Ama, Timoth, Angel. Very good answers. Nasari Jazida, Mountain Elgon is not snow-capped throughout the year. And the same applies to you, Hirali. It is not snow-capped throughout. It is somehow snow-capped. There are seasons when it is snow-capped, when it has snow, but its snow is not permanent. So in East Africa, generally, we have Mountain Rwenzori, we have Mountain Kilimanjaro, and Mountain Kenya. Those ones have snow in and out of seasons. Their snow is always there. Let's get to economic activities carried out in the montane climatic regions. We have lumbering. These people carry out lumbering. They go and cut trees and they get timber. There is farming. There is tourism. They carry out tourism. Yes, because the soils are fertile, therefore tourism is a very, very good economic activity in this climatic region. Together with tourism, there are very many people who come from far away to come and climb mountains. The mountain climbers, there are those who are interested in gorillas, and then they go to Rwenzori. So you find that the mountain climatic region is very good for the business of tourism. Then even mining, minerals are very common in the mountain climatic regions. I want to pause here, and then even dairy farming in those hilly areas, we can find dairy farming. I remember we talked about dairy farming in Kenyan highlands. Yes. Thank you, Ambrose and Emma. I want to pause. And I ask you, we are collecting data. We are collecting data for people who attend lessons. We have very many people who are on the WhatsApp groups, but want to get the data for those who attend the lessons. So if you know your parent's number, please drop it in the chat right now. Our team, one of our team members, is collecting the data. So drop your contacts in the chat. Drop your contacts in the chat. If you attend the lessons regularly. Yes, Jasmine, thank you. Thank you. Drop your mommy's number, dad, the one that is you remember. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you, Angel. All of us, if you attend our lessons, please drop the number. We want to follow up on you. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Smith. Nondo. Sidin, thank you. Hillary, Emma, Shantai, Nabu Kenya, thank you. Happy, thank you. Adrian, thank you. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jazira. Daniel and Sarah, don't mind. You give us the one of whether it is mommy who is around. It is okay. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Wanyama Keith, for you have given us 2. Very good. For mommy and daddy. We need those numbers because for you attend. There are very many people on the WhatsApp group, but they don't attend. So for you who attend, we need to know you. Jesse, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Edmond, thank you. So, thank you for giving us the numbers. Tropical climate. Let's type in the chat. If you have given the number, then you can type. This is, if you've given the number, then you can type the answer. What do you know about tropical climate? This is very common here in Uganda. Very common in Uganda. It is what we experience in Uganda, in most of the parts in Uganda. Most of the parts in Uganda experience the tropical climate. Shantai, good. Yes, thank you, Gabriela. It receives moderate rainfall. We shall find out. Others, where you? It has 2 seasons, Timith. Very good. That's a very good answer. 2 rainy seasons. Others, where you? We are discussing the tropical climate. Tropical climate. Jasmine, Rashida, Angel, thank you. Rashida, it has 2 what? You've not completed your answer. Lynn, thank you for the number. Pascal will get that. Emma, thank you. Okay, so then warm and wet, that is Gabriela. Seeding Redemptor, good answers. Hilary, good. Thank you for your ideas. So it is outside the equatorial zone, but within the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The Tropic of Cancer is 23 degrees, 23.5 degrees north of the equator. The Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 degrees south of the equator. So the tropical climate is within the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. On the map, when they draw the map of the world, you will get to know where the tropical climate is by knowing that the Tropic of Cancer, which is 23.5 degrees north, and the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south, the region within experiences the tropical climate. That is key. Number 2, it covers most plateau lands in East Africa. It mainly supports the savanna vegetation. The savanna vegetation is supported by the tropical climate. I know very well that it is in the savanna vegetation that we find most of the game parks in East Africa. It doesn't receive rainfall throughout the year. For it does not receive rainfall throughout the year. It has 2 rainfall seasons between March and May, that's one, and September and October. But these rainy seasons are changing. They keep on changing. But there are 2 rainy seasons. Then the rainfall ranges between 750 millimeters and 1,000 millimeters in a year. It is slightly smaller. The rainfall is slightly, the amount of rainfall is slightly smaller than that of the equatorial climate. So those are the key things that you need to look at when you are describing any climatic region. You have to look at the amount of rainfall it receives, the temperatures. That will help you to describe it very well. The temperatures are high throughout the year and convectional rainfall is received. Convectional rainfall from trees is received. Then the temperatures are high throughout the year with an average of 27 degrees Celsius. 27 degrees Celsius, which can be translated into about 18 degrees Fahrenheit. So it depends on what you want. So it can be described as hot, wet, and dry somehow. Yes. So that is what we can speak about the tropical climate. We shall see the activities that are carried out therein. Because our time is going very fast, we have only 8 minutes to end this lesson. So the semi-arid or semi-desert climatic condition is hot and dry. They have hot days and cold nights. The days during daytime it is very hot, at night it is very cold. That is also another topic. We shall study why it is so. Why is it that in semi-arid areas it is very hot during daytime and is very cold during nights? Sometimes it is about the clouds. The clouds clear and then they can consume the heat from the ground, so they can be very, very cold nights in those areas. Little amount of rainfall is received. Here, little, it is there, but very little. And most of that rainfall is frontal rainfall. And you know, frontal rainfall is characterized by drizzles. It is not serious rainfall. They are just drizzles. Rainfall is less than 500 millimeters per year. Here in Uganda, we have such areas in Kotido, and yes, it is found in the northeastern Uganda, north and northeastern Kenya, and central Tanzania. Those are the places that experience the semi-desert or the semi-arid climate in East Africa. The temperature range is high. It is extremely high. Now let's look at the economic activities that are carried out in the tropical climate. Have tourism, farming and crop growing, mining, cattle keeping. What about in semi-desert? In semi-desert, there is a lot of nomadic pastoralism. We looked at nomadic pastoralism in our previous lesson. Crop farming, mining, and also tourism. Like the Chidepo Valley National Park is found in a semi-arid area, semi-desert, but people still go there to see the animals. So it promotes tourism. Yes, Daniel, I'll send you the work, but not immediately after this lesson, but it will be later, but I'll send it. Okay. Lastly, let's look at the coastal climatic region. The word coastal comes from the word coast, and you know, to have a coast, you must have a sea, an ocean, something like that. It is found in the coastal plains, the plains. The climate is hot and wet. It receives heavy rainfall throughout the year. The rainfall that is received in coastal climatic regions is even higher than the rainfall that is received in the equatorial climatic regions. It has 2 rainy seasons, that is May and even October, and then the temperature ranges are between 28 degrees Celsius, that is really hot, and sometimes 30. That is also very, very hot. That is very, very hot. Economic activities that are carried out in the coastal climatic region. We have farming, we have tourism, we have trade and fishing. Those are the economic activities that are carried out. So basically, that's what I can talk about right now. Thank you for attending. Thank you for attending in big numbers. Keep on coming because this is for you. This is for you, children who are at home, children who are locked up at home, who cannot go to school. This is for you. We are doing everything to make sure that you keep learning. So those are some of our packages. To continue having such lessons for a full year, you pay 500,000 shillings. For a full year, that means if you start today, 2nd of July, you'll end in 2022, 2nd of July. 12 months of access. I may not be able to send this work to individuals.
Teacher, you're breaking.
Okay, I may not be able to send this work to individuals as in one by one, but I'm going to put it in the WhatsApp group. I believe everyone has access to the WhatsApp group. So have a wonderful morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the lesson. Have a wonderful morning.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye. Bye, teacher. Bye, teacher.
Bye. Bye.